So today at the nursery, we have a lot of work going on. We're in the midst of repotting season, of course, here. It's mid-March in Nashville. So we're in the full swing of shifting trees from old containers to new containers, moving stuff from wooden boxes over to ceramic containers for the first time. So it's our busiest season of the year. Now, with that in mind, we've got a lot of big projects that are happening right now. So I have a couple of friends who are coming over to help us out today. We've got Carl from Pennsylvania and we've got David from Franklin, Tennessee. So looking forward to having these two guys over to help us move particularly some larger trees over to wooden boxes. We've got big old Ponderosa here at the garden that was actually collected by Mauro Stemberger a number of years ago that needs to be moved from a container. It's actually in a ceramic container, but we're moving it back to a wooden box to pump up the health of the tree. So I want to walk you through how we build that wooden box and then just show you some of the general projects that we have going on here at the garden. So without further ado, let's jump into it for the day. All right, so these first trees that we're working on this morning, these are all cuttings off of an Itoigawa Shinpaku that was imported from Japan years and years ago. The cuttings were actually taken by my dad probably about 8 or 9 years ago, maybe a little longer than that. And over the last few years, he's been developing these into nice little shohin trees. Well, this spring, he's extra busy. He's on the downhill slide into retirement, so he was unable to repot these himself. So we brought him over to the nursery yesterday, and we are repotting them for him. So excited to get these out of their pots, look at the root systems. I mean, you can see on this guy, it's got fantastic roots on it here. So we're gonna be shifting these over to new containers, putting some of them back in the same containers, but these are gonna stay permanently here essentially at Eisei-en because my folks are actually moving nearby in the near future once my dad retires. So these will be on permanent display at the garden when you guys come to visit us at some point in the future.
Working on this little Ponderosa Pine. A lot of nice roots down here. We're going to stick them all in the bottom of the pot and put it on a nice angle. That's about the front of it. And I don't know, when was this repotted? Or where is this?
It's probably 5 years since it was last potted up.
Wow.
We've been waiting for the black pine grafts to take on there.
Oh, nice.
All right, so next up on the list today of trees that have to get repotted is this Japanese black pine right behind me here. So this is obviously a semi-cascade tree that we've changed the angle on. So we need to take it out of this pot and put it back in the same pot on the new angle. I actually styled this tree up, I believe 7 months ago at this point. So it's been sitting on the bench on this angle for the last half a year, basically. So I'm excited to pop it out, see what the roots look like. You know, this was an imported tree, but it's been in the States for a very, very long time. So it should have a pretty solid, well-established root system, but we'll see when we pop it out. So let's bring this into the workshop and get started. beautifully. Yeah, it actually runs towards the back. We'll make the flat side the front here.
So that'll be the front of your tree.
Yeah, so the front right here. So it's,
I got the tree.
yeah, go ahead and just dump a bunch of that around the back there. So next up on the list today for repotting is this monstrous Ponderosa Pine behind me here. Like I said before, this tree was collected by friend of the garden, Mauro Stemberger, out in the Denver area probably about 5 years ago. So we brought it over to the nursery right as we opened up about 3.5 years ago, and it's been sitting here ever since. Of course, I've styled it up in the interim, and we actually potted it into a ceramic container, but we potted it first, then I styled it, so we ended up changing the angle, which is why you see it on this weird planting angle right now. So I said earlier in this episode we were going to build out a wooden box for it, but I managed to find an actual ceramic terracotta training pot here at the nursery that I think is going to fit the tree perfectly. So we're going to wheel this guy inside, see if we can get it out of this current pot and finagle it into the terracotta pot on the new position. So we had another successful day here at the nursery. I think we probably got about a dozen trees, or actually way more than that repotted, maybe 24 trees. So huge thanks to Carl and to David for coming out and helping us out today. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing a little bit of the behind the scenes in the spring. It's obviously chaos here at the nursery, but this is my favorite season of the year because everything's waking back up, it's coming back to life, and it just feels good to put everything back up on the benches here at the garden. So thank you guys so much for checking out this episode. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we will see you guys next time around. Take care.